Okay, so for those of us who have any kind of exposure to the crypto space, we have some very powerful entities that hate us. And I want to make sure that you're fully aware of it. So let's talk about it. This is the Hey Ed YouTube channel. I am your host, moderator, and all-around nice guy, Edward Anderson. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so do not construe anything that I mention in any of my videos as financial advice. Always do your own research before doing anything with your money. And today, I want to do my annual, Halloween video. And I want to make you aware of a few things regarding the crypto space, because there are some very powerful entities out there who do not want cryptos to succeed. Now, before I get into the actual presentation, I do have a little piece of news here for us in the crypto space. There are two new crypto exchanges that are going out of business. Okay, so crypto exchanges JumpX and FairDesk are going to be shutting down. Now, these are not instantaneous. You do a little bit of time to get your money out of the exchanges. I believe November 30th is when they're due to close the doors, at least with one of them. I forget which one it is. So if you're in either of these exchanges, please pay attention. Go on to these exchanges. If you have any assets sitting there, get them out. Okay, so this is a good opportunity to reiterate the importance of not holding any assets, at least not to a large degree, on any exchange. Remember, they're called exchanges. So exchanges are for exchanging. They're not for holding. So in terms of security, the worst option you have for hodling your cryptos is to keep them on an exchange. Now, a better option is to hold your cryptos inside of a wallet, like Exodus or Tron or Trust Wallet. And in terms of security, the best option is to put it on, one of these guys, a hardware wallet. But listen, if you want to keep some assets, in an exchange for purposes of convenience, I get it, but just make sure you don't keep, a serious amount on an exchange, because any assets you have in exchange is vulnerable. I mean, we've seen many exchanges over the past couple of years just go under, and some of them give you no warning. You just woke up and they were gone. Hello, FTX. Okay, now the two current exchanges that are going under, this JumpX and the FairDesk, they're citing regulatory pressures that they cannot keep up with. And this is probably the most powerful example of how powerful entities do not like cryptos. Now, I think any fair-minded person has to understand how unfair it is to these crypto companies to be expected to follow rules that are not laid out. Our governments are still trying to catch up to what the hell these crypto products are. And they haven't really gotten their hand around it. And so there's no real guidance to a lot of these companies trying to do business in the crypto space. But that's not going to stop the regulatory agencies from punishing these companies. So you might be a company saying, oh, wait a minute, what rule did I break? You did not tell me the rules. You haven't given me any rules. But that's not stopping these guys. Now, of course, the default argument by these powerful government entities is that the entire space is rife with scam artists and Ponzi schemes.
Posters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes, posters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes, posters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes,
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for these government agencies going after actual, Ponzi schemes. I'm all for it. But listen, as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot more going on here than just, fighting crime. These people have an agenda. And it's not just, local people. This is becoming a worldwide phenomenon. There's a global effort to tamp down on the crypto space. That's because these governments and these powerful agencies, they don't like competition. They want to protect their precious fiat currencies. And there are people in our government who just cannot contain themselves. They hate cryptos, and they have no shame in expressing their contempt for the crypto space. Not because there are scam artists there, it's because they don't like the idea of us being able to conduct business anonymously. So for the same reason that they don't like you to hold on to gold and silver, they don't want you participating in cryptos because they want you to be tied to their own corrupt financial system. And the corruption does reveal itself if you're paying attention. I mean, remember, very recently, it was just back in January where the SEC held meetings with the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, and the CBOE to finalize comments on the spot ETFs. And the conventional wisdom was that the SEC was never going to allow these Bitcoin ETFs. But then something changed. So BlackRock comes out and they say, you know what? We do want to have our own Bitcoin ETF. And of course, when BlackRock talks, corrupt politicians listen. So on a dime, all of a sudden, people are now convinced that these Bitcoin ETFs are going to happen. Why? Because BlackRock says they want to have it. So where does the actual governing power, the policy-making power reside? Is this an actual democracy? Do our politicians for our respective countries actually represent us? Or is it powerful entities like the World Economic Forum? Okay, so the world, I know I'm going to sound like one of those nut jobs out there, but the world is run by a small elite of globalists who have never been elected to anything, but they influence policies around the world. And these people are all about control. They want to control everything. And of course, the real attraction for us who are, crypto, enthusiasts is the idea of personal freedom, the idea of being able to conduct business outside of the traditional financial system. So, of course, they can't abide that because it's all about control. You have these elitists around the world trying to come out with a global approach that all governments can follow so that everybody is singing from the same hymnal. So marching orders are set out by these global elitists to all of the major governing regulatory bodies about how to tamp down on digital currencies. They spoon feed the crypto asset regulations that they want governments around the world to follow. We even had the Pakistani finance minister come out and say that cryptos will never be illegal because of FATF. So there was a massive ongoing effort by these global elitists, to put restrictions on how you can use cryptos. And it's not about protecting you. It's about them retaining power. These are the people who want to control every aspect of your life. This is a global nanny state. These are the people who want to dictate what you eat, right down to forcing you to eat bugs. Remember the days when we actually had a degree of personal freedoms? We could live our lives the way we wanted to live them. Now, this next quote from Henry Kissinger kind of illustrates the point of view of the global elitists. If you control the food, you control a nation. If you control the energy, you control a region. If you control the money, you control the world. So again, this is all about control. They want to control your energy, they want to control your food, and they want to control your money. Does this sound familiar? Does this ring a bell? Hello, Green New Deal. Hello, global carbon tax that they want to put on everybody. Hello, force feeding us electric cars that don't work. These next two quotes come from Vladimir Lenin, our favorite Marxist. The best way to destroy the capitalist system is to debauch the currency. I mean, does that ring a bell? Our fiat currencies have been destroyed by our respective governments, and no more so than here in the United States. That is what inflation is. Your buying power is going down because of the money printing efforts by our own governments. The way to crush the bourgeoisie is to grind them between the millstones of taxation and inflation. I mean, come on, guys. The more that these, liberals, take office here around the world, the more we are adopting the philosophy of Vladimir Lenin. These global elitists want to keep us down, and the primary tools that they have to do that is with taxation and inflation. And in the spirit of keeping us under their thumb in controlling every aspect of our lives, you will have these evil CBDCs that are being pushed around the world. European Central Bank head reveals CBDCs could be used for control amid the banking crisis. It's about control. These people are anti-entrepreneurial. They are anti-capitalist. They hate the idea of you establishing any kind of financial independence. The Digital Currency Monetary Authority, yes, there is an actual agency that is pushing this stuff around the world, launches an international central bank digital currency. So it's not enough for countries to have their own CBDCs. They want a global CBDC. Project Icebreaker, breaking new paths in cross-border retail CBDC payments. Canada ushers in WEF's global carbon tax agenda. And these people will use every opportunity to push their agenda, whether it happens organically or whether they have to create one. This worldwide flu that we had there for a few years, I can't say the actual word because the algorithm will pick it up. But those people didn't see it as a bad thing. They saw it as an opportunity to push their evil agenda. As far as I can tell, these people really don't care about your financial situation. Household debt soars at fastest pace in 15 years as credit card use surges. For the first time in history, the total credit card debt by Americans went over $1 trillion. That's because people are turning to their credit cards just to meet their day-to-day needs, just to buy groceries and to pay their electric bills. We have several potential black swan financial events, in the wings. And one day, one of these guys are going to blow up and a lot of people are going to be crushed. I mean, the corruption and the mismanagement by these global financial systems is just staggering. Now, these people are counting on the fact that most people aren't paying attention. Most people are too busy leading their lives, going to work and getting their kids to school. They rely on you believing the garbage that's promoted by the mainstream media. And they rely on your ignorance to keep you shackled. I mean, is anybody really paying attention to the financial disaster that's looming out there, to the complete mismanagement of our finances? As of a few months ago, we had a $1.1 trillion deficit. Our national debt is at $35 trillion and growing and just exploding, every single day. We now add more than $1 trillion to our national debt around every 100 days. $1 trillion every 100 days. And these people, they are either stupid or they have no shame. I mean, just look at some of the things that they want to do. That's just insane. They want to set the corporate tax rate at 28%. They want a 44.6% capital gains tax. They want price controls. And they want a 25% tax on unrealized gain. Unrealized gains. Do you even, what the hell? Even if that was your plan, which is evil, the idea that they would actually tell everyone that's what they want to do is just insane. Banks are now closing down random accounts and marking them for fraud for no real reason. They don't tell you why they're shutting it down. They just say, yeah, we think that you're doing something fishy, so we're shutting you down. And they give no explanation about why. And you can bet that the criteria that they're really using are things that have a conservative bent. Like, if you're a precious metals dealer or if you deal with guns and ammo, banks used to respect your privacy. They used to respect, your entrepreneurial nature. But now the banks, probably forced by the powers to be in government, are forcing banks to do things that is very, look, I don't know how these banks plan on staying in business. Take a look at this poster that was put on the front door of one of the banks. Now, this particular bank is in the UK, but this is happening everywhere. I mean, if you went to your bank right now and tried to withdraw a large amount of money, they're going to grill you. So let me blow up that poster and read it to you. Now, I know this might be kind of blurry for you, so I'll go ahead and read along with you. Okay, so looking to withdraw cash, our primary aim is to keep consumers safe and secure. And branches follow our procedures carefully to achieve this. This will include asking you questions about the purpose of your cash withdrawal. We may also ask for supporting documentation, such as an invoice. This helps us validate the withdrawal as genuine and protect you against fraud and scams. Please note that it is advisable to give 24 hours notice on large cash withdrawals. So now, banks around the world are asking you, so what do you want to do with this money that you're withdrawing? Of course, most of us would say, it's none of your darn business what I want to do with my money. Just give me my money. And it gets worse than that for us crypto investors. If you say, yeah, I'm going to put it into a crypto program, you're not going to get your money out. I've heard tons of stories of from people saying, yeah, as soon as I told them that I'm going to put my money into a certain program, they said, well, no, we think it's a Ponzi scheme. We think it's a scam. So for your own interest, we're not going to let you do it. There are many banks out there right now that will not let you send your money from your bank to a crypto exchange. Shout out to George. Hey, Georgie. Georgie is a friend of mine in the UK who has been fighting this issue, for like a year. No matter what he tries, he cannot convince his bank. I think he's tried 2 or 3 different banks. He cannot convince his bank to let him send money to a crypto exchange. That's because, okay, so let's just be honest here. These banks, they don't like competition. It's not about protecting you. It's about, cryptos being an existential threat to the traditional financial system. Okay, so listen, I've got about 15 more slides that I want to do in the presentation, but I think I'm already getting too long-winded for a YouTube video, so I'll just kind of cut to the chase here. Listen, if you are a crypto consumer, you have to understand that the powers to be out there are doing everything they can to make our lives miserable. So if you plan on being a crypto consumer, you're going to have to know the tricks of the trade, okay? If one exchange goes down, you have to have another exchange ready to go. That's why you should have multiple crypto exchanges set up. Don't rely on just one exchange. Have multiple set up so that you have options. And never keep any serious amount of money sitting inside of any crypto exchange. The crypto space is kind of a domain for freedom-loving people looking for ways to transact their lives outside of the traditional financial system. And the people who are behind the traditional financial system don't want you to have those options. So they are doing everything they can to make our lives difficult inside of the crypto space. If you want to buy Bitcoin and conduct business in Bitcoin, you are not doing anything illegal. Okay, so when these government regulators go after crypto exchanges or crypto projects, you would hope that they're doing it with good intentions, that they want to crack down on scams and Ponzi schemes. And in those cases, I hope they do. But my concern here is that they're not taking the time to distinguish between what is a legitimate program, what is a legitimate crypto, and the crooks. They just have a blanket, attitude toward the crypto space. Okay, so the crypto space, listen, this is still the wild, wild west, right? There's a lot to learn. If you're going to be a crypto consumer, there's a pretty big learning curve. So if you want to get involved in the crypto space, there's a pretty big spectrum. Everything from just the basics, knowing how to buy a stable coin or Bitcoin and how to, send money to a different wallet, that kind of thing. A very small percentage of the global population is really involved in the crypto space, at all. The real allure of the crypto space is that it's an alternative for freedom-loving people, people who are libertarian at heart. We are the people with the basic philosophy of leave us the hell alone. And we are the people who say, listen, we're adults. We can make our own decisions about what we want to do with our money. And yeah, if you find a Ponzi scheme or if you find criminals, God bless you, man, go after them. How have we gotten to this point that freedom and liberty are bad words? Personally, I blame it on 2 things: bad parenting and a really bad school system. Our society has been infiltrated by communists and fascists for decades now, and they run our school system and they are firmly embedded in our governments. They can force you to pay whatever tax they want because they can make your life miserable. They can destroy your life unless you bow down to them and agree to the terms. So in the spirit of trying to secure your personal freedoms as much as you can, reduce your exposure to your bank, acquire some gold and silver, and establish streams of passive recurring income. Please like and subscribe. Ed Anderson, live from Minnesota, signing out.
Hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes, hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes.
Copy that.